far back as I can remember, I've always wanted a Gibson Explorer. Well, I wanted an Explorer. It didn't necessarily have to be a Gibson. I wanted an ESP, but Gibson put an end to that. But now that I got that out of the way, we're going to talk about a 2020 Gibson 70s Explorer that I managed to acquire. And I know that right now the Gibson 80s Explorer is all the talk, but I managed to get this 70s Explorer for a hell of a price. And I'll warn you now, purists, you're going to be upset because I put an EMG headset in this instead of the stock Gibson pickups. Other than that, it's stock, but, let's get some specs out of the way and then I'll give you my thoughts. We have a mahogany body and neck, a classic white nitrocellulose finish, bound rosewood fretboard with a 12-inch radius, 22 medium jumbo frets, dot inlays, Graphtec nut, 24 3/4 inch scale length, chrome hardware, Grover mini rotomatic tuners, aluminum Nashville tune-o-matic bridge and aluminum stop bar. Stock, it comes with 70s tribute pickups in the neck and bridge, 2 volumes, 1 tone, and a 3-way toggle switch round out our control options, and it has black speed knobs. As I mentioned, I changed the pickups out with an EMG headset, and I changed the black knobs out for chrome knurled knobs. Generally just don't like speed knobs on certain guitars. Overall, this is a great guitar, and as I said, I've wanted an Explorer for as long as I can remember. Specifically a white one, because Hetfield. Was this guitar everything I had built up in my head? Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it plays great. Outside of the pickup swap, I put a set of Ernie Ball Ultra Slinky 10-48 strings and slightly adjusted the action. Obviously, there's no sharp fret ends due to the binding nibs, but there also wasn't any high frets or anything like that. Overall, it's a great guitar, but I don't love it like I thought I would. It really doesn't play any different than my LTD Snakebite, which that's basically because the Snakebite has like the same specs. But it's less comfortable to play sitting down than that guitar because it's contoured very well. But I'm also not a fan of nitrocellulose finishes, and in fact I think they're a inferior finish. I'll give you a second to type your angry comment. Also, apparently I have some degree of an allergy or something to nitro because when I play this guitar sitting down, it seems to slightly burn my skin where the guitar rests on my leg and where my arm rests on the body. Yes, I'm wearing clothes when I play. It's not unbearable, but it is kind of odd. I thought maybe it was in my head at first, but then I noticed that every time I play this guitar, my thigh kind of tingles. The smell is nice, though, I'll give it that. Benefit to nitro, though, is it is easier to repair than poly finishes, but I just hate how sensitive it is. There's some degree of orange peel on the back of the guitar, but the front looks amazing. Eventually, I'd like to put black hardware on this, but it's not imperative at the moment. I've used this guitar pretty extensively for recording songs for Monolith, and I know none of you know what I'm talking about, and it worked out great. I like the guitar, and I will likely hang on to it, but I don't love it like I thought I would, and that's slightly disappointing. Maybe I should have waited for the 80s Explorer to come out, but to be honest, the price that I paid for this guitar was just too good to pass up. If I put the stock pickups back in it and put the black speed knobs back on, I'll likely get more than what I paid for this if I should choose to sell it. All in all, it's a solid guitar, and I'm glad I got it. However, had I paid full price for this guitar, I might be disappointed. I know there is a price that comes with the name on the headstock, but the quality of this guitar and something like my LTD Snakebite, it's not vast enough for me to justify the price difference. Also, keep in mind I did buy my Snakebite when they were still around like $1,200. This guitar is better than my Epiphone Explorer stock, which is a great guitar in its own right. But it took some work to get it to where this Gibson was. And honestly, even with the work that I put into that Epiphone Explorer, I'm still about $1,500 shy of where these things list. So, they're great guitars, don't get me wrong. And I've been critical of Gibson over the years, but I have a love-hate relationship with Gibson. I love their designs, I love their shapes. I'm at an age where I can go both ways on guitar designs. I really like the classic looks, but I do like some modern options. I've been clamoring for the 80s Explorer to come back, for example, because, I mean, after the whole lawsuit with ESP, there was no reason they shouldn't have been making those every year and selling like hotcakes, since there was no other non-pick guard version of an Explorer out at the time, with a traditional Explorer shape, I should say. But Gibson has a tendency, I know some people feel that their pricing is fair, and to a degree, I think it is. I think with the amount of work that goes into making a guitar like this, and the quality of the parts that are going into a guitar like this, $2,500 is fair. But my problem is, from my own personal experience and my own personal opinion, this is not a guitar that I would pay $2,500 for, because one, I don't tour. I buy guitars I like and I play them. I play them a lot, but I don't go out on the road. I don't want to be honest. But even if I did, I don't know if I'd take a $2,500 guitar out on the road with me, because if someone nicked my tour truck, I'd be pissed. And I also tend to not keep guitars stock. In fact, the one thing that really bugs me about Explorers is I hate the selector switch being down on the horn, and it's taking a lot of restraint for me not to move it to the first, where the first volume knob is, and just having the toggle switch and two volume knobs there. Now that I've had the guitar for a year, I may do that, because I've basically decided I'm not probably going to sell it. But if I do, I can just take the hit on having modified it, because there's somebody out there that'll buy it because they love Hetfield. So, I mean, that would be my hang up with paying $2,500 for a guitar. I also typically am a deal hunter, so, you know, paying full price for a guitar is not something that's usually in my on my to-do list. I like getting a deal. I like feeling like I came in under the MSRP, so that way when I dump parts into it, I don't feel like I bought a expensive guitar and then made it even more expensive by spending thousands, you know, or that's an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. For me, not leaving this guitar stock, $2,500 is a hard sell. But I do feel, from a position of objectivity, it's a fair price. I understand why it's that price. I just wouldn't pay that price for it. However, that being said, should the inevitable white 80s Explorer ever come out, or maybe I'll break down and buy the black one, I don't know. Chances are I'll probably end up paying damn near manufacturer suggested price for that. So when you see that review, I might be eating my words here. So all in all, you know, it's a great guitar. I think it's worth the price, but I would definitely find a deal if you can. I mean, they generally, depending on what kind you're looking for, they float around that, like, right now, 1,700 to 2,100 used, which is good. I think that's pretty decent. But I mean, you know, is there better options for a modern metal Explorer? Yeah. But if you like that classic look and you're not afraid to spend some money, like I said, great guitar. If you have a Gibson Explorer, or you're thinking about buying a Gibson Explorer, let me know in the comments below what you think, and we'll strike up a conversation. I'm sure there's going to be some great comments, and I cannot wait. So we'll see how that goes. But like always, guys, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch, and while you're down there in the comments, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be a huge help to me, and I will get guitar reviews out whenever I buy guitars. I'm not sponsored, and I don't have room to keep all these things all the time, so I have to thin the herd before I can get different stuff. So there will be more guitar reviews. They're just a little sporadic. But again, the least I can do is thank you for taking the time to watch. And if you subscribe and stick around, we'll see you in the next one. If not, have a good one, I guess. Yeah, I blew this ending. Sorry. See ya. Bye.